What's up, guys? It's your boy Flat Tip here today. I'm doing another movie review. Before the video starts, make sure you hit the like button down below and please subscribe, turn on notifications. And by the way, this video does have spoilers for this movie, so if you are planning on seeing it and you haven't seen it yet, please just know that before you watch this video. Because I do reveal the ending and I reveal parts in the movie and stuff. Today we're reviewing The New Mutants. This movie came out a couple days ago. The New Mutants is basically after the X-Men. It's a Marvel movie, and it takes place like, I've never seen any X-Men movies, to be honest, except this one, even though it wasn't technically an X-Men movie, but it mentioned them and it was the same type of mutation power things that the X-Men had. This girl, she's with her village, and then something destroys it, and then she wakes up in this facility, and this lady's like, oh, you got powers because you mutated and stuff. And so she meets these other kids. All these other kids are rude to her, and then there's this one girl who becomes her friend. They do all this stuff, and then it gets really weird, and there's like these demons or something in the building, and they gotta figure out what to do. And then they're like, oh my gosh, the girl, that's what her power is. And so they gotta figure all this stuff out. And then the doctor tries to kill the girl, and then this big monster comes and kills them all. It's a really whack movie. That's the quickest way I could summarize it without going into too much detail. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the rating for all the 5 different topics. If you don't remember what they were acting, editing, story, structure, and ending. So yes, we will be going over the ending of this movie, and if you don't want to know the ending, don't really watch, because I'm not really going into spoilers except for the ending. So yeah. For the acting, it kind of sucked. It was pretty good acting. It wasn't the best Marvel acting I've seen. I've seen much better. Like, when the actors were in pain, they seemed in pain. When they were sad, they seemed sad. But the main thing that was really bad were the accents. Every kid at the hospital/school had an accent because they were from a different nation or ethnicity or a different country. And they didn't have good accents. The main girl, her accent was fairly decent because it was mainly American with a tiny bit of Indian. But one girl, she was Scottish, okay? And so she's talking in this poorly sounding Scottish accent. And in the middle of a sentence, she switches over to like Southern, like American country accent. It wasn't good. There was one actor, the brother of Will Byers from Stranger Things. That guy was like a Kentucky boy. He was really country. But it was not that good either. He wasn't made to be playing a country character. And then there was this one girl who was Russian, and it was not a really good Russian accent either. They all just, they should have found better people for the accent part. And so for the acting was fairly decent. The accents weren't. I'm gonna give acting a 6. Alrighty, for the editing, the blood and fighting were pretty cool the way they did it. All the superpowers and mutations seemed legit, except for one person, the Russian girl. Can you stop? The Russian girl had a sword arm thing. She like threw out her arm and it turned into a sword. Her character's powers were just not edited in the best way. Everything else though seemed really well. Because of the one girl, I'm gonna give the editing a 7. Now we're going on to the story. The story was pretty good. It started out really well in this village type place with the main character. It was just really fast. It starts out, boom, this girl's getting attacked. As soon as the movie starts, she's getting attacked. She runs really fast and there's this thing chasing her, and then she's in a hospital. Like, it's literally like not even 2 minutes of the story starting, it's already hospital. And then it was just slow. The story was really slow. It took a long time for all the characters to get introduced, even though there were only 6 of them. Yeah, in this giant hospital, there's only 6 people. There were 5 kids and a doctor. Like, how does that work? You cannot have one person in charge of a bunch of people that have superpowers. It's not even a bunch. It was 5 kids. Not even that, the overall idea of each person's superpowers were awful. Imagine this, you take 10 9-year-olds, ask them to jot down everything they want in a superhero movie on a piece of paper. You take all those ideas, mix them together, and boom, you have the New Mutants. It was whack. One girl's power, the only ability she had was to turn into a wolf. The Russian girl, she had this little puppet she wore on her hand, and she would talk to it throughout the entire movie. It was really creepy. You thought it was a puppet, and boom, final boss battle, it turned into a dragon. Like, it didn't make sense. It was all confusing. There were so many just like random things here and there. There were these weird smiley face people who they looked pretty cool. They were just boom, smiley face people in the middle of a superhero movie. The main girl's superpower was, spoiler, 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 she could induce people's fears like hardcore. She would take people's worst fears, bring them to life, and then have them kill the person. And she did that to everybody in the hospital, including herself. The story would have been really good if it was put together better. They could have made the story better if they tried. And there were a lot of unanswered questions throughout the entire movie. And because of that, I'm going to give it a 5 for story. Next, we have the structure, how everything was pieced and put together. It wasn't that great either. It was a really slow-going movie. Like, it had the beginning, the middle, and the end. The beginning was about 2 minutes long. The middle was like an hour and whatever. And the ending was like 5 minutes long. The middle was overly exaggerated, if that makes sense. Like I said, for story, there were a bunch of random problems that happened throughout the movie. Some of them were solved, some of them weren't. It was like I said, a bunch of 9-year-olds made a bunch of movie ideas, and the Marvel people made the movie. What the heck, Marvel? And it didn't really follow the core story rules. Like, it had like there's this, and then there's a problem, you gotta fix the problem, then another problem happens. When you fix that, you win and save the day. That basically happened, but the problem in fixing it repeated and then sometimes stopped and then repeated again. It was just confusing. And just because of that, I'm just going to give it a 6 because it. And finally, we have the ending. Spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, it does have an ending that I'm going to be going over right now. The final battle was... it was awful. I'm just gonna say it sucked. This girl, the main character who induced fear upon other people, induced fear upon herself, and it was like this giant bear tornado creature thing, and it was coming after her, but she was unconscious the whole time. So all these other superheroes, kids, people, the main 4, they were fighting the bear, okay? But they can't do anything to it because they just can't. So they're all about to die. It's up to this one girl. She's about to die too. And then boom, she wakes up. Wow, no one would see that coming. And then you know what she does? You know what she does? She says, she holds out her hand and she says, stop. And she defeats the monster. That's literally what it was. She said, stop, I control you now. And it went away. It was the dumbest final boss battle I've ever seen in a movie. It didn't make sense. It was one of those sappy endings like, you have to control your own inner monster, because if you don't, it's gonna kill everybody you love and yourself. Yeah, but you don't need to put that in a superhero movie. You gotta make it good, not emotional. It left viewers like me with the unanswered question of what happened afterwards. All they did was walk out of the school. The movie ended. And because of that, I'm giving the ending a 4. Alrighty, if you add together a 6, a 7, a 5, a 6, and a 4, that gets you a 28. Then once you take that 28, do a bunch of mathematical stuff, it'll get you 58. New Mutants gets an F on the good scale. Wow. I didn't think it was going to be that low. I thought it was going to be low. I just didn't think it was going to be that low. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button down below and please subscribe and turn on notifications while you're down there. Anyways, I'll see y'all guys later. Adios.
Goodbye, John.